They're calling it the world's worst chemical disaster.
Union Carbide informs the American courts that New York law can't apply, but at the same time, they say Indian law doesn't apply. So in effect, they're arguing that they're above the law.
It's a corporation. They're legally bound to do nothing but try to make profit.
The Global Visions Film Festival underway. It's the popularity of these documentaries, of course, I don't think has ever been bigger. Why do you think that it is so popular? I mean, I love documentaries myself, and it seems like it's catching on.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I've always loved documentaries. I mean, as you know, I'm a huge film buff, but I really love documentaries. But I'll tell you, like 20, 25 years ago, I mean, it was like pulling teeth trying to get anybody to try and see a documentary, right? But I think what's happened, particularly in the last 5 to 10 years, you've got a younger generation that, I mean, they're on YouTube all the time. They're seeing that anybody with access to a camera can make something on their own, whether they have a huge budget or not. Believe it or not, reality television has a huge part in that. People are really hungry for those real life stories and a lot more willing to sit down and watch them.
I'm not suggesting that the path of destruction is the right path. When you're screaming at the top of your lungs and no one hears you, what are you supposed to do?
You're armed with the task, of course, bringing in these documentaries for the Global Visions Film Festival, and there's so many, though. Like, that's the thing with documentaries. It's not like when you're working on the Edmonton Film Festival, for example, you have a certain pool of films, full-length films. These are short documentaries, and there are a lot of them.
Yeah, and you know, the funny thing is there's so many types of documentaries out there. So our focus is really, I mean, Global Visions is always focused on socially relevant. So you start with that as your basic parameters, and then what I really looked for this year was some sort of a socially relevant topic. But the key being, I think as soon as people start to hear some of those terms, you can have the urge to go, oh, you mean it's movies that are good for me, you know? But just because something's good for you doesn't mean it has to taste bad. It can educate you, but it can also enlighten you, and it can entertain you and engage you. And that's what we really tried to find this year. We want people to walk out with obviously lots of stuff to talk about, but also feeling like they were really entertained while they were, you know, learning about something that they didn't know.
Yeah, like I didn't know a lot about Donald Trump until I know it.
I don't need it. It's not in the way of what I'm doing.
It's my home. I've stayed here for 43 years now. And he would put me out of it.
It will be the greatest golf course anywhere in the world.
I got out of my bed this morning, the whole house shaking, things falling off Finlay's shelf.
The greatest thing I've ever done for the environment is what I'll be doing right here in Aberdeen.
I don't approve of bullying.
We're throwing a lot of changes at people this year. Now we're in the spring, brand new venues. We're at Metro Cinema at the Garneau, such a beautiful setting to see a movie. At the AGA, and a lot of people, I think, aren't even aware there's a beautiful new theater in the Art Gallery of Alberta. And if you haven't even checked out the AGA yet, what a great excuse to come down and, you know, make a day of it. So we're screening there. Tickets are available at Metro Cinema or Remedy Cafe, and all the synopses and all the information and showtimes, all available on our website at globalvisionsfestival.com.
Good stuff, Keith. Thank you very much.
Anytime. Thank you.